Welcome to the Stepmom Side with Alicia Crasco, the podcast for stepmoms ready to create the life they want and one they actually have a say in. Here we talk all things stepmom life and just a little bit more. Leave the superficial conversations at the door and get ready for perspective shifts and actionable advice to help you on your way to creating the life you want, one step at a time. Hey there, welcome back to the Stepmom Side podcast. I'm your host, Alicia, and today's episode is going to feel a little bit like a gut check because we're diving into something that so many stepmoms feel but don't always know how to name. It's the grief and frustration that comes with not getting the firsts. Maybe you didn't get to be your partner's first wedding or give them their first child or buy the first house together with them. And it stings. It can feel like you're always coming in second, like you're living in someone else's story, like your partner already did all of the things with someone else. And now what? You're supposed to be excited about getting the leftovers. And let me just tell you, I get it. I've been there. I've Googled how to get divorced because I was so twisted up inside, wondering sometimes like who my husband was married to because sometimes it felt like he had to choose between me and his ex-wife. And I mean, to be fair, I get it because he's got kids with her, and here I was like trying to control the situation, and he's like, I'm stuck in the middle. But regardless, I felt less than. I felt confused. I felt like I didn't matter, or at least not in the way that I wanted to. And then a follower messaged me something that brought it all rushing back. I'm going to paraphrase what she said, but I'll give you like the brief overview. She said, I'm struggling with not being the first for many things: first marriage, first kid. Watching my partner parent his kids is so hard because I'm not able to do parenting things. I struggle with jealousy, insecurity, and feeling less than. It leaves me lashing out because I don't know how to handle it. I feel crazy. My partner's kind, helpful, and patient and tells me I'm not crazy and that firsts don't matter. He says he is choosing me, not her. And I'm like, yeah, I can absolutely understand this. But can we just pause for a moment and hold space for how real and honest that is? Especially when she went on to say that they want to eventually have kids together. I think that's the caveat to not being first and like it being so hard. It sucks not being first and, getting a lot of like the leftovers or what feels like leftovers, but then add in like you want to have kids together and you haven't had kids together yet. It's like, I don't know, it's like a special kind of hell, I feel like. But she's not alone. And if you're nodding along, like you're not alone either. So today I want to walk you through a practical step-by-step approach to dealing with this because it's one thing to name the pain, but it's another to know what to do with it. So number one, we need to build confidence in your role as a stepmom. This is the foundation. When you feel like a placeholder or a second act, it's hard to see your value clearly. So we have to actively build that confidence. So start by recognizing the unique role that you do play. You show up, you support, you offer love and structure, you navigate hard conversation and uncertain dynamics. That matters as much as as you might think, yeah, but I don't want to be doing those things. Same girl, same. But like that matters. So try this. Each day, write down one thing that you did that reflects who you are in this family. It might be small, it might feel invisible, but it's not. It's proof that you're already showing up as a steady, committed, irreplaceable part of the whole. And when that voice creeps in and says, you don't matter like she did, I want you to know that's not true. I want you to answer it with the truth. You matter in this season. You are a part of the now and the future. Number two, acknowledge that it hurts. Here's the truth. Part of the frustration might be that you don't have a child of your own yet, or maybe you won't. And that is an ache that deserves to be acknowledged. This isn't about comparing or minimizing. It's about naming the grief that comes with not having those first experiences, especially when you're watching someone else live them again or for the first time. Grief shows up in jealousy, in sadness, and resentment. It's normal. It doesn't make you crazy, it makes you human. So, grief shows up in jealousy, and sadness, and resentment. It's normal. It doesn't make you crazy. It makes you human. And the only way to move through it is to stop pretending it isn't there. You are allowed to say, this hurts. I wish I had that. And I think this is where stepmoms get, I think they get in their head about it. Like, well, I'm just going to pretend like I'm okay. No, girlfriend, we are not going to pretend like we are okay. We are going to acknowledge that it hurts. Like, this sucks. Like, you didn't realize when you signed up to date somebody or marry somebody with kids that this is something that you would be doing. So, acknowledging it, like name it to tame it kind of thing. Step three, let time do its work, even when this is really hard to hear. I know, I know. When you're in the thick of it, the last thing you want to hear is just give it time. I've heard that so many times and I've hated it every step of the way. But the truth is, time does actually help. Here's what one stepmom said inside the stepmom side community when I shared this. Like, okay, I've recorded, actually, okay, let me give you back up a second. This is the third time that I've recorded this podcast episode. I recorded it and then I retweaked it and recorded it again. And then I went into the Stepmom Side community and was like, okay, you guys, what are you struggling with when it comes to firsts? I had somebody reach out on Instagram. I've recorded the podcast episode twice already, but I feel like I need to add more. What should I add? So here's what this stepmom inside the stepmom side community added or shared. And I want to read her words exactly because they're powerful. She says, I struggled with this at times too. I have learned I sometimes have to go to my husband and just flat out say, I need some reassurance. I had to do that too. And he will remind me that he chose me. And as silly as that sounds, I just need the reminder. I remember feeling this so much before we had my son. I feel like it's the time of waiting that makes it harder, not because it can't happen for you, but simply because it hasn't happened just yet. The key being yet. I had to remind myself daily that my husband chose me. He is actively choosing me. He comes home to me. He loves me. While he had a past that while he had a past before me, it was before me. While our paths hadn't crossed just yet, we were supposed to meet when we did. I remind myself that we get to experience these things together for the first time, and that's a lot more special for me. Let that soak in. You might not have had the first wedding, but you are the last one. You might not be the first to raise kids with him, but you are the first to love him this way in this season with this kind of partnership. Maybe his previous relationship or partnership was not great. Maybe it was toxic. Maybe they fought a lot. Maybe they had a really rough go. And maybe you guys have both done some personal growth and some healing, and you guys have a pretty harmonious relationship outside of set family dynamics, but you guys have a pretty great relationship. So this is the first time that he gets to have this kind of relationship. So here are some practical tools for you. If you're in this place today, here are some things you can try. Some journaling prompts if you journal. Here are some questions. When do I feel like I'm less than? What does that look like? Is it when, he's maintaining a relationship with the ex or in constant communication, or you feel like you're being slighted because the kids need something and their needs have like taken over? Like, when do you feel less than? What would feeling confident look like today? Does it look like you showing up in your whole way, your whole self, saying things with your whole chest? Like, what does that look like? A reassurance strategy. Practice saying, I need some reassurance to your partner. Let them meet you in that vulnerability. So, like that stepmom had shared, like just getting into the habit of going to her partner and saying, I need some reassurance. Yeah, it took me a long time to say that to my husband because I didn't want to feel like the crazy one. Like, I'm not the kind of woman that like needs reassurance. And then I did. And I was like, oh my gosh, what has happened to me? Why do I feel like this? What is going on? All of the things. So just get into the habit of allowing yourself to be vulnerable, which is so scary, and just say, hey, you know what? I'm feeling weird or I'm feeling less than. Can you just give me some reassurance? And I can guarantee you more often than not, your partner is just going to hand it over. They, might, say something silly or say something snarky to you. And if you feel like your partner might do that, please give them the heads up and say, hey, you know what, when I come to you and say I'm feeling this, please don't try to be funny about it. at least not at first. Like at some point you guys might be able to be funny about it, but it's not at first. Um, Number three, gratitude for shared firsts. List one first you get to experience together. Even if it's something simple, like your first trip, your first holiday tradition, your first hard conversation that led to deeper understanding, anything that you guys get to do first, make note of them. And again, like more time in this role, more time in this relationship, time is your friend. It feels like time is your enemy, but actually time is your friend. Like it will get better, I promise. So you'll think less and less about it. But here are my final thoughts for you. You are not second best. You are not an afterthought. You are the person your partner is choosing day in and day out. And while it's okay to grieve the firsts you didn't get, it's also powerful to recognize the new story you're building, one that's yours together. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope this episode gave you something to hold on to. If it did, please share it with another stepmom friend who might need the same encouragement. And hey, come on over to Instagram and tell me what stood out. You are not alone. I will chat with you next week. Thanks for taking time to listen to this week's episode. If anything was helpful or resonated with you, please share it on social media and tag me. I'm just at Alicia Crosco. And if you could leave a 5-star rating and a review while you're at it, that would also be really helpful. And if you find yourself struggling with your stepmom journey and you want a little bit more support without the hefty price tag of coaching, you might want to check out the Stepmom Side community, which is my own private community for stepmoms, where you get to connect with other stepmoms around the world and myself, where I hold weekly office hours and monthly group coaching. It's kind of like you have your own personal coach in your own back pocket. Again, without that hefty price tag. See you next week.